And then on the Monday Bowls, North Carolina State at Vanderbilt. I have heard some opinions, some SEC specialists saying that Vanderbilt is going to blow North Carolina State out. Have you gotten sharp action on Vanderbilt?
No, mostly public action on Vanderbilt, actually. I've got money we respect was on NC State plus 7.5, but not enough to move down from the 7.5 where we are right now. We still have Vanderbilt favored by 7.5, total of 52. Our count is about 2-1 in favor of Vanderbilt, and our money's about 2-1 in favor of Vanderbilt as well. So as of right now, we need NC State. And again, money we respect took the plus 7.5, so we're not going to go up to 8 at this point. Okay, and then the Sun Bowl, USC, Georgia Tech, interesting line. And I noticed that, I think that came off the board recently, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's not much action on this game, probably because of that and the uncertainty, but we do have a count of about 3-1 in favor of USC, which is not surprising at all. Mostly public money there. The count's not, the dollar volume's not too bad. We need Georgia Tech slightly, but not much at all. And I did get sharp money under the 66. We're sitting at 64 right now, Peter.
And then Iowa State, Tulsa, near pick'em line. When I researched this game, I thought Iowa State might be a decent bet, and it did creep up a bit, so I assume that came from sharp action, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're sitting Iowa State -1. We took, reasonable sharp money on Iowa State minus a pick. We took money we respect on Tulsa +1 as well. But our count is still about almost 2-1 in favor of Iowa State, so we're still staying at the one where we are right now. But our money's pretty much even on this one.
All right, and then LSU Clemson. Again, I've heard opinions that the SEC that they're just going to dominate here, and this line has gone up, but that could be from public action.
Well, this game could be rough for us, Peter. This is a situation where we've got sharp money on LSU. That came in early when the line was like 3.5 and 4. The public's been telling me ever since 4.5. We're already up to 5 right now. Our count is about 5-1 in favor of LSU. Money's almost 8 times in favor of LSU.
Wow.
We're going to need Clemson and some hope.
Wow, sharps and the public on out. So I would think that if the sharps and the public are coming in big on a side, that it would move more than this line has.
Well, you move more, obviously, on the sharp action. So if they hit you at 3.5, boom, you're at 4 right away. They hit you at 4, boom, you're at 4.5 right away. And if it's mostly public money after that, you kind of, how far do you want to go? You're at 5, 5.5. Do you want to get up to 6? I mean, we talked about last week that in case like, South Carolina, we ended up going all the way up to 6 just because the sharp money just didn't stop and the public money went with it.
So I guess you'd rather just be very, very exposed than expose yourself to a big middle with the sharps?
Well, again, we've got a little bit more time with these games. We've got about 3-4 days to go until Monday. We could get a lot more action before then. Sure. Again, just because of the sharp money came in early on LSU. If it goes up to 6, will they come in on Clemson? Maybe. Yeah. But you got to go there to find out.
Wow. All right. Interesting game. And then let's move on to Tuesday, January 1st. You told us a few weeks ago that South Carolina was getting a huge sharp action, right?
Yeah, I think we were probably at the time we talked about it. I believe I was at 5.5, and most of the board was at 5. Right now, the whole board's pretty much at 6 now in South Carolina. So nothing has come back on Michigan. The count's 3-1 in favor of South Carolina. Money's about 4-1. Sharps were all over the 3, the 4, the 4.5. And now that we're -6, we're kind of splitting action both ways. But the Sharps have decidedly run all over this game.
Wow. And are the public following those moves?
Yeah, public's pretty much on South Carolina as well. Again, at 6, I've got mostly public action splitting both ways, but all the early action was all over South Carolina.
Okay, so that's going to be a big decision game for you then, right?
Yeah, and again, we're going to need some hope with Michigan.
All right. Okay, and then Georgia, Nebraska. Georgia's a 10-point favorite. I would guess that, the public's all over Georgia, and I might think that you might have some sharp money on Georgia as well.
Yeah, we got Georgia. Wow, Peter, you're on the ball this time.
Oh, I'm sharp. I'm sharp as hell, man.
What do I mean this time? Always on the ball. Yeah, we took sharp money on Georgia -8 pretty much. Went to 9 right away. And since we've been to 10, it's all public at -10. We may see 10.5 again. I don't know. But right now it's been all Georgia money. Like I said, -8, -9, and then the public running all over at -10. And I've got kind of split on the totals from not bad there. I got sharp money over 58, and I got under money -61. We're sitting at 16.5 right now there.
All right, so there's another decision game for you. Seems like there's a lot of games in this. A lot of these late bowl games have sharp and public on the same side.
This one, our money's about 3-1 in favor of Georgia. The count's about 4-1 in terms of Georgia.
Okay, and then the Rose Bowl, Wisconsin, Stanford. I'm going to guess you have split action on that, and that you had a small sharp action on Wisconsin.
Look at you go, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah, we had sharp money on Stanford minus 6.5, sharp money on Wisconsin plus a 7. We're sitting at 6.5 right now. The money's pretty much even, but the count still favors Stanford, so they're laying the 6.5. If the money starts to favor Stanford and we feel the need to go to $7.15 or something, we might do that. But I think we'll pretty much end up split now that we're at 6.5.
Okay, so the sharps are split on that game depending on the number.
Correct.
Right, okay. Then another particularly interesting bowl is the one involving Northwestern. Northwestern, of course, was an ATS money-making machine during the regular season, and we talked in our calls that the public started to come in on Northwestern, and at the end of the year you had the public and the sharps kind of on Northwestern week after week and winning every week. Right now they're a 1-point underdog. I'm wondering if you're seeing the same kind of action here.
Yeah, we've actually got Mississippi State favored by 2 right now in a game total of 52.
Okay.
We do have mostly public money on Northwestern. Our count is 2-1 in favor of them, and the money still favors them. Just a lot of people betting on Northwestern. The public kind of got on them late in the season, as you mentioned. I wouldn't say it's a definite sharp public split here, but we do have money that we consider sharp or that we respect, laying Mississippi State minus 2. So that's one of those cases where the public has been all over Northwestern, and I expect they will continue to be. The only sharp action we've seen has been on Mississippi State, nothing sharp on Northwestern.
Interesting. So do you think it'll be a need for you that you'll wind up needing Mississippi State?
I think we're going to need Mississippi State, yeah. The other one here, too, in that game is, as it goes with Northwestern, one of those cases where the public goes over crazy with Northwestern. Now we've taken over money 50.5, 51, 51.5. We finally stopped the over action at 52, but we haven't got anything back on the under.
I like the over in that game as well myself. Have you gotten any, were the sharps betting the over as well?
No, we haven't had any sharp action on this total at all.
Okay.
Just all public hitting it, like I said, 50.5, all the way up to 51.5, and they haven't touched it at 52 now.
All right, and then let's discuss Northern Illinois, Florida State. Of course, very controversial bowl. Florida State is a 13.5-point favorite. Some people are debating whether Northern Illinois deserves to be in this game. Have the sharps weighed in at all on this line?
The sharp money that we did get on this game was pretty much the opening number where Northern Illinois was catching 15.5 points. They took Northern Illinois there, and then I've pretty much seen steady Northern Illinois money plus 14.5 and plus 14. Finally got all the way down to 13. It's been mostly public money betting Florida State right now. Again, that's one of those cases, if the public money eventually gets to the point where it outweighs the sharp money, we could go back to 13.5 because the sharp action that we did take was mostly above 14. So it's one of those cases where as long as the game doesn't land 14, we'll probably end up all right. As we stand right now, the money's almost even, and the count still favors Florida State because there's a lot of public betting on that side.
The Wednesday Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, Louisville, Florida, very similar to the Florida State Northern Illinois game. Some people are giving the opinion that Florida just outclasses Louisville and that Florida minus 13 is a great bet. Is that have you got any sharp action on Florida?
The only sharp money I have there was Louisville plus 14.
Okay.
Since we've been down at 13.5, it's been all Florida. It's all public. The count's about 3-1 there. Money's about 2-1 right now in favor of Florida. It's not one of those decided splits where the public or the sharps are definitely all over Louisville. The money we respect took Louisville plus the 14, and since going down at 13.5, it's been all public money.
On Florida?
On Florida, correct.
Wow, yeah, that's what I would expect. And you haven't gotten any sharp action on Florida yet?
At 13.5, no. We only took one kind of really sharp bet at plus 14 down at 13.5, and we've had public money drowning that out. Again, it's kind of good to know on our side of the counter that if we need to get some money back on Louisville, we can go to 14, and we probably would attract that.
All right. Kansas State, Oregon. Of course, Kansas State's like a 9.5-point underdog, and some people have given the opinion that that is way too big, that the line should be a lot more competitive. Have you gotten sharp action on Kansas State?
Yeah, I was going to say, those people who've been saying that the line's too high are likely what we would consider sharp people. Okay. We do have sharp action on this game, and it's basically been on Kansas State plus the 9. The count's about 2-1 in favor of Oregon, so we're getting more public money on Oregon. The dollar volume's pretty much close, but it's definitely one of those splits where we've got sharp action on Kansas State and the public on Oregon.
Because I would have expected that if that's the case, then the line might be inching down towards 7, but I haven't really seen that.
No, it's down to 8.5, and again, because we've taken twice as many bets on Oregon, you kind of can cancel out the sharp bets you get. Again, the sharps will bet it. Usually, when the sharps are hitting you with a large dollar volume, you're taking one really big bet or two bets, maybe half of what you would consider a large enough bet to move. So you take one of those big bets, and boom, you're straight down to 8.5. And now the rest of the sharps are staying away from it, whereas the public is saying, "Wow, I'm getting the best deal here," and they're laying the 8.5, and which that's what they're still doing.
There you go, public sharp split on Kansas State, Oregon. Not a surprise there.